Good morning and welcome to the Vessel Online. I'm Austin Clement. Today, our very own Ian Fieber is reviewing a movie that has made over $300 million in the box office so far. It will be sure to get you in the holiday spirit.
I'm Ian Fieber, and this is USF's Movie Moment. Before we begin, let's go over how we'll be grading this movie. We will be examining the pace of the movie. Did it feel too fast, too slow, or just about right? How the characters were written. Was there arcs for the characters, and was the dialogue enjoyable or clunky and off-putting? How the movie looked, cinematography, and lighting if it's a live-action movie, the animation if it's an animated movie, and how the movie made me feel while watching it will also affect my score of it, along with a few other good or bad add-ons for each movie I review. In the end, all of these items will add up to my score, which will either be frame the ticket, keep the ticket, toss the ticket, shred the ticket, or burn the ticket, which are A, B, C, D, and F grades respectively. Let's get started. With Halloween just a few weeks away, I've decided to review one of the most highly anticipated horror films in the last decade, It. To give some background, It was a highly successful novel written by the great Stephen King. A movie version made its way to TV in 1990 and has gained a cult following ever since. The newly released version lived up to the massive hype. Pennywise the Clown really dominated with his performance, and even though he was CGI'd in some scenes, still looked as realistic as one could hope. Bill Skarsgård, the man in charge of bringing this demonic clown to life, portrayed him wonderfully and made the character really his own. This allowed for a more twisted and dark character, one that has not been seen on the big screen before. The cast of young children, highlighted by Finn Wolfhard, who's most known for his character Mike in The Stranger Things, really does a great job of balancing scares and laughs. While most of you may think that this movie is strictly for horror fans, it pleasantly surprises with mixing in romance, comedy, and drama. But don't worry, it still brings plenty of scares. This box office hit follows the book but also creates its own identity, and it hasn't been like any adaptation that we've seen from this Stephen King masterpiece. As mentioned, it was darker and more violent, but also keeps the quirkiness and comedic component that completes this movie as a whole. This movie was longer for a horror movie, with a running time of 2 hours and 15 minutes. However, this movie flowed so well and was incredibly entertaining that it moved at a great pace, and you could not tell that it was that lengthy of a picture. When the movie ended and the credits rolled, I wanted more. It was one of the most entertaining movies I've seen in years. The young cast really brought this movie to life and allowed you to get lost in a wonderful yet frightening story. Lucky for me and all of us, part 2 will be crawling back out of the sewer in 2019. For this movie, I will definitely frame the ticket. With USF's Movie Moment, I'm Ian Fieber.
It is currently sitting at 84% on Rotten Tomatoes with an 86% score from audiences. Michael Bay has been hired to produce the brand new Dora the Explorer live-action film. The film will have an older version of Dora instead of the young 7-year-old that we all grew up with. The film has been kicked around for the past few years, but will finally see a 2019 release time. Thank you for joining us today. Come back tomorrow for another news update. For the Vessel Online, I'm Austin Clement.